What's up, everyone? This is the Retro Gamer Ranting. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I want to do a quick first impressions of Starbound. I want to give this quick disclaimer. This is early access. This is beta. This is all this good stuff. So that's all this is a first impressions. Most of the stuff I may be talking about are probably just going to get changed in the future. Who knows? But I just want to do another quick disclaimer. I actually wasn't following Starbound that much. I knew it existed. I was going to get it. It was on my radar. But mostly I had it in the back of my head that it was basically the unofficial sequel to Terraria. That was how I classified it in my head. It's like, oh, it's going to be like Terraria, only it's going to be in space. You're going to go to planets and stuff like that. And that's all I really did. And I would keep up on it every now and then. I'd look at screenshots, but I didn't really read up on it that much, mostly because I was too busy playing Terraria. So I mostly went into the early access completely blind, just very vanilla, and I was really surprised because it doesn't play anything like Terraria. And obviously a lot of people are going to be like, well, duh, we knew this already. But I just wanted to give that disclaimer that I'm coming into this with a pretty fresh set of eyes. But there are a lot of difference from it. In fact, I would even go so far as saying it has a little more in common with Minecraft than it does Terraria, because you have to do things like smelting. There's a little more process to everything. You have a hunger bar and so forth. Like in Terraria, when you'd craft something, it would just be there. You just have the material for it. You'd go to the station that you needed to craft it, and then it'd just be in the menu there. Click on it, you're done. In Starbound, you have to actually smelt it, and it takes time, and everything's more of a process, I guess. And so I think if I would have actually gotten into Minecraft more, I probably wouldn't have been so, I guess, lost when I first started playing Starbound, because I had to get out of this Terraria mindset. And I had to reprogram my mind into how to play this game. I kept hitting the usual Terraria buttons for bringing up the menu and doing this and doing that. Everything's a bit more complicated. There's more steps to stuff, and it's pretty satisfying. Frustrating at first, especially since I was sort of coping with the new controls, the new environment, and the game, speaking of which, the game looks really nice. I really enjoy it. The creatures that I have been coming across, which some are very different than in Terraria. And that's what made it kind of interesting to me. And at first I was just like, well, what the heck are these? And second, I'm just like, this is really awesome because, first off, they look like rejects from Pokemon. I just have to put that out there right now. A lot of the creatures that I've been running into, they just look like straight out of Pokemon. It even gets driven home more, like when they do a move to you, when they attack you, like the little move, like they're doing charge, will pop up over their name. And I just kept thinking of Pokemon, and I'm just like, all they need to do is give me a Pokeball and let me capture them. That would be so cool. And what made it interesting is because, unlike other games, you have slimes in Terraria, you have mages and skeletons and zombies. You know what those all are. You know basically what their attacks are going to be. Oh, a pirate's coming to attack me. It's probably going to shoot me or try chopping me up. But in Starbound, when you first go into these worlds, you have no idea what these creatures are going to do, unless if you read up on it ahead of time. You don't know if they're going to be hostile towards you, if they're just going to ignore you, unless if you do something to irritate them. You don't know what kind of attacks they're going to do once they do get aggro on you. And it's kind of it really sets you in that mood of, I have no idea where I am or what I'm doing. And so, I was really turned around, and it took me a while to get into it. And I don't know, I'm slowly growing into it. It's one of those things where when I first started playing, I'm like, this is crap, why do I gotta do this? Oh, this first bow and arrow was completely crap, I hate this bow and arrow. And then I got like an iron bow and arrow, and that was 10 times better than the first bow and arrow you make, and you're like, oh, this is a lot better, I can one-shot things. So it's a bit disorientating for someone who hasn't played that kind of game and is used to maybe Terraria like me. But it's fun, and I keep exploring. The first and this game has a sense of humor to it, because basically the first dungeon, I guess, quote unquote, I came across was a sewer dungeon. It was literally, the entrance to it was an outhouse. There's just an outhouse hanging out there. And then you can go down into this dungeon, and you had flies and poo-based enemies attacking you. And I just had to laugh. It was just hilarious, and it just goes with the charm of this game. Is you literally have no idea what you're going to run into. I eventually ran into bandits in the world I was in. They were hostile, obviously. Finally, when I got a better bow, I was actually able to take them out, and they had tents that they were by. So I was able to pick up the tent, and now I have a tent that I can carry around with me and use. So that's really cool. And then I came across a merchant, just like a wandering merchant, just sort of chilling out in the world. I was talking to my cousin. He told me he found an entire town full of merchants that were friendly towards him in one of his worlds. So that was really cool. I haven't ran into that yet, but I haven't had as much time as I would like in it. And that's a process, and it's really fun to explore and get to know the environment you're in, what kind of monsters you can avoid, and what ones you can handle. I'm really enjoying it, and this, like I said, it's really early on, but graphically it looks good. There are bugs, there are crashes right now, but that's to be expected in early access, and I guess some people are even losing their save files sometimes, I suppose, but I don't know. It just finished updating right before I did this recording, so maybe that got fixed. But that's what early access is about, is bugs. But it's really, really enjoyable, and it feels pretty exciting as is. I don't know. I haven't checked what they intend on adding at this point. I haven't looked that up, but that's what makes it fun, is just sort of playing a game, seeing it get updated, and then exploring and finding out what's new. And that's what I always love about Terraria, and it looks like that's what's going to happen here with Starbound. So far, overall positive. A bit frustrating at times. It's way easier to die early on in this game than I do recall in Terraria. But then again, in Terraria, you could die pretty easy or not if you don't know what you're doing. But I think once you get the hang of it, and once you get comfortable with your surroundings, I think you'll get more brave to explore and to dig and mine. I guess the only gripes I have about it, and these are just my gripes, is the fact that they do have stuff like hunger now. And I noticed, like, your pickaxe has a little, I guess, health bar, I suppose, that it can get worn down if you use it too much. And I've never been a fan of games that give you temporary, not necessarily temporary weapons, but make it so weapons break, or useful things break, or the fact that your character gets hungry. It's like, I've never been a fan of that. I mean, early on, the whole hunger thing was a problem because I was having trouble getting meat, but now that I have a stronger bow, it's not as big of a problem. And it takes a long time for your guy to actually get hungry, so that's not a big deal. But I don't know, I've never been a huge fan of those mechanics where your equipment is breakable. And it doesn't seem like all equipment's that way, it just seems like it's the pickaxe right now, so that's not too big of a deal. And obviously, as you go forward in the game, you're going to get better equipment, better stuff that'll probably negate it altogether. So the whole mechanic of at night having to be near light, or else a little light bar will start going down. You can take damage or die if it goes down too low. That's taken a bit getting used to. I'm just used to just running out willy-nilly at night and exploring, but now you have to think, all right, I got to take a campfire with me and enough torches. And so taking me a bit to get used to it for that. But overall, positive experience so far. I can't wait to dive into this more, and hopefully once the new year shows up, I might be able to do some more videos. Since it's December right now, I'm extremely busy. So if anything, I might churn out a live stream or something like that. But anyway, leave your comments down below about what you think of Starbound so far, and are you enjoying the experience? I certainly am, and I am looking forward to the future of it. And don't forget to share this video with all your friends so it can get out there for other people to enjoy. Until next time, game fans, keep playing, and thanks for watching.